Let's get into today's episode of Z Files. Because everybody says to me, "Oh, Z, oh, you're one of those flat Earth guys, so I guess you don't believe in science." Well, the first thing I could say is, no, I don't believe in science because science isn't something that requires a belief. Science just is. Science is an objective method of discovery. So although I don't believe in science, I accept that science exists. I accept that there are certain methods and means that we can use to discover the world around us. Methods that help us get by our subjective experience. Methods that we can use to approach some degree of objectivity. So although I don't believe in science, I accept science for what it is. Indeed, it is you that believes in science if you are believing what is being told to you through academia, through the educational system, and through the so-called authorities. Because you must believe in a science that is anything other than science. It is science in name only. It is science personified. It is science as a religion. Call it scientism, call it whatever you want. I say it's a religion because it requires belief. So I implore you, let's not believe in science. Hell, I could say let's not believe in anything. Let's accept certain things or reject certain things about our reality. Let's get beyond belief, especially in things regarding the scientific pursuit. Can we do it? Can we try? When we're going to try to do it here. Let's give it a go, everybody. So what I want to bring to you today is another example of a long distance observation on this Earth that, like the other long distance observations I have shown you, goes as proof that the realm we live in shows no curvature and no convexity at great distances. That's the big thing I'm trying to present to many of you, is that there is no evidence that we live in a world that shows convexity. We just live in a world where water appears and it's observed to and testably lies level and horizontal. Large bodies of water observably, demonstrably, and testably lie level and horizontal. It's not complicated. This isn't a hard concept. There's no belief required in what I'm saying to you. In fact, it's the opposite. You must believe the reality that they're presenting to you. The model of the cosmos presented to you requires the belief. Not my position, not the position that others like me share. There's no belief required. That's why I'm so intent on showing you these things. So let's get into it. So the other day, I brought to you the example of Mount Canigou, which is a mountain in France, a mountain that is 9,134 feet in elevation. And twice a year, that mountain can be viewed from 163 miles away. I'm going to bring you a similar observation, but this time we're going to look at a mountain that can be viewed in its entirety from 254 miles away. Okay? So we're going to do another exercise as we did previously. I want you now to picture where you are right now, wherever you are on this earth. I want you to picture where you are, and I want you to picture another location that's roughly 254 miles from you, whatever that is. Try to picture it, a town, a city, a mountain, whatever. Think about it. You've gone on trips before. You generally know how far you've traveled. Okay, have you done it? Do you have that? All right. I want you to think. I want you to try to rationalize if there's any possible way you would be able to see that location from your current position if you lived on a globe. Okay. Let's get started. All right, what you see here is a picture. This is a photograph taken through a Nikon P900, which has a super zoom telephoto lens. The invention, creation, and production of the Nikon P900 has revolutionized our ability to observe objects at a distance. There's also a thing called a P1000, and apparently there's a P950, which even has more zoom. I believe when we talk about the P9000, you're talking about a super zoom capability of something like 90 or 100 times. All right. So you're increasing the angular resolution of distant objects by orders of magnitude with the Nikon P900. What you're seeing here is a photo taken with this Nikon P900 telephoto camera of a mountain in France. You say, well, why can he see it at a specific time? That's what I explained previously. You can't see forever in this world, but there are certain phenomena that happen that expose certain things to our vision. As you see here, during particular times of the year, from particular locations, the sun sets behind the mountain. This particular phenomena creates a silhouette of the mountain. So indeed, you are able to see the mountain in all its glory. Let's get into the math here. The photographer is located on Pic des Nanfans. The target mountain that we're looking at is the Tete d'Estrop, which has an elevation of 9,715 feet. The photographer is at an elevation of 9,354 feet. So in plain, simple speak, there's a man on a mountain with an elevation of 9,354 feet photographing this Tete d'Estrop mountain, which is 254 miles away, which has a maximum elevation of 9,715 feet. Now, here's the meat and potatoes. According to the purported dimensions of a globe Earth, which is said to be roughly 25,000 feet, 25,000 miles in circumference at the equator, according to those purported dimensions, 12,196 feet should have been hidden below the alleged Earth curve, meaning that the very top of this target mountain, this Tete Estrop, should have been 2,481 feet below the geographic horizon. However, as you can plainly see in this photograph, we can obviously see the entire mountain, or at least thousands of feet of it. I want you to think about what I'm saying here. If you're able to observe, document, and verify a mountain 264 miles away, how can you say that we live on an earth that is curving, on an earth that should be showing a geographic horizon? This one picture alone, just this one, debunks the globe. The numbers don't lie. As I said before, you may have a certain belief about the cosmology of this reality, but know that that belief is not evidenced at all anywhere. And to the contrary, all evidence shows a level horizontal world. You only believe it's otherwise because you could not see a mountain from another mountain at 254 miles away on a globe. It's impossible. This is why I say the globe is impossible. This is just one of the reasons why I say the globe is impossible. So for everybody who says to me, well, it could be either, Z. Couldn't it be a globe or your flat earth? And I say, no, it couldn't be either. It may be comfortable for you to conceptualize it like that, but it couldn't be either because something can't be an impossibility. Once you show something to be impossible, you've excluded it. The globe doesn't exist because it's impossible based on all demonstrable reality. You will not be able to observe this Tete mountain with an elevation of 9,715 feet from Pic des Nonfants at an observer height of 9,354 feet on a globe. It's impossible, especially on a globe, given the purported circumference of 24,901 miles. And you may say to me, Z, but he's so high. The photographer had to climb a mountain to see this other mountain. You yourself admitted, Z, that the photographer located on Pic des Nonfants was himself at an elevation of 9,354 feet. Wouldn't he be able to see over that alleged Earth curve, over the alleged geographic horizon? And I would answer to you, no, to the contrary. And here's why. If you take the Earth curve calculation, which many of us know is 8 inches per mile squared, you can see in the equation that we have an exponent. We're squaring the miles. So if the Earth curve calculation is 8 inches per mile squared, this means that as the observer's height increases in elevation, the growth is linear. But as the distance from the observer to the target increases, the growth is non-linear. also called exponential. Exponential growth is defined as any growth that causes the output, which in this case is the drop, to be larger than the input, which in this case is distance. In plain speech, what I'm saying is, as one increases in elevation, the growth is linear. As one increases the distance, the earth drop is nonlinear, what could be called exponential. What I'm saying is, even if you have to go higher to see further, as opposed to proving the globe, it only further disproves it due to the exponential nature of drop on a spherical object. This is basic geometry, it's basic algebra. As I said before, you can convert the equations, the algebraic equations, which is basically simple Pythagorean theorem, if you want to know the truth. You can convert that to trigonometry to get the 8 inches per mile squared. It's all the same. It's different scaling. That's all it is. It's different methods to achieve the same end. These concepts are basic. They're only complex because you have pre-indoctrinated beliefs. You presuppose the globe that you should be trying to prove, which is a basic logical fallacy. It's called a begging the question fallacy. You logically cannot presuppose the thing you're trying to prove. My point is that even if you must go up in elevation to see things at a distance, it only goes to reinforce a level horizontal world that shows no convexity at great distances, especially in relation to the purported circumference of the supposed Earth, the supposed globe. It's plain and simple. The fact, the reality, due to perspective and how optics work in this world, is that you can see further the higher you go. It has nothing to do with any curve. It's just how optics work. It's how perspective works. The higher you are, the further you see. Look no further than the principles of convergence and divergence and perspective. It's plain and simple.